and I won't try to curate a healthy community in our wonderful new platform.
There, you're a mod. Stop bitching.
Hey, you know what the best part about Odyssey is? No clue you're a mod or not. There's no
it's hidden.
symbol.
You
there's
are,
nothing.
but they don't know.
It's bizarre.
The Pat gave us 5 beers. Thank you so much. Semper Reloaded, who's in Alabama, he actually texted me yesterday going like, I'm at a Publix. What should I get? I recommended the chicken tendy sub. Driving back from White Boy Summer, did Frozen Asian ask his barber for a Down syndrome look? He sure did. Lord Pepsi, Italia Vince Dominica El Euro. Hands movement intensifies. He's doing the Italian thing.
If I can't tell who's a mod on Odyssey, then how do I know who to like more than other people? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know who has more value as a human being without a wrench?
How do you know who's cool?
Yeah, this is bullshit, Odyssey.
Can I show you something? It's not done yet, but there's a preview. Bali Song is working on something, and I thought that you would really appreciate this merch.
God damn it.
No, wait, hold on. Just let Merch watch it, please, 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 please. There's only a clip now. This isn't the whole song, so just keep that in mind. It's not done yet. And that's it.
I'm feeling it.
It's not done yet. He's still working on
more.
it. This is
I
just
need
a
more.
preview.
I need more.
This is just a preview. He's doing the eye thing.
I really.
He's doing the eye thing.
What's that noise they make when they eat again?
Rattle, 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 rattle.
There you go.
KF, give us $5, dude. Thank you, KF.
Wow, I couldn't even tell the difference. I couldn't tell if you were doing the noise or if Frozen Asian was just eating on the air.
That was Frozen. He's having some chips.
Mute your mic when you
Mute
eat.
your mic, Frozen.
I apologize.
Waddle, 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 waddle.
Yeah, like mute your mic when you're eating ants or whatever.
Fuck. Thank you.
It would be cool if you could, like, if you were. Imagine how easy life would be if you could eat ants, right? Like, those animals have it made, right? Because all you gotta do is, like, drop a cheap lollipop on the ground. Like, there's no hunting involved.
Frozen's asking again, how much for the kind eyes boy? They want me to sell you, Frozen.
I don't want to be sold.
Well, I mean, in many cases, that's really not up to you now, is it?
How can you tell if an Asian has kind eyes? They always look like they're staring at the sun.
That's a really good point. All right.
You never thought about that before, though, have you? No, because you only think about yourself.
I guess that's true. Hey, there's an update. So they tried to kill they didn't try. They succeeded killing the Haitian president.
Well, they did try.
Probably because he's one of the few countries that decided he didn't want any help with the vaccine. But I don't know. That's just a guess. But let's see.
On the assassination of Haiti's president, 17 suspects are in custody this morning, and among them, 2 Americans. And
now, why would 2 Americans be trying to kill the Haitian president? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, yes?
Because we're unscrupulous mercenary types that will kill for money.
Oh. All right, well, that's fair.
authorities say several more suspects are still on the run. Marcus Moore is in Miami, where Haiti's first lady is recovering.
Is that the president?
From critical injuries from that
I can't
attack.
tell. I just assume everybody in Haiti with a dress shirt on is the president.
Okay.
Marcus, hello.
Like, oh, is this guy wearing pants? He must be the president.
TJ, good morning to you. As
Not what I expected him to sound like at all.
Haiti's first lady recovers at this hospital, authorities
Wait. So Haiti's first lady is at Jackson Memorial here in Miami?
Back in Haiti paraded the detainees in front of cameras overnight, and they say that the search for more suspects is not over.
That guy strikes me as the
Overnight,
kind of
the
black
first-
guy that wants nothing to do with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, he strikes me as that kind of guy that's like, I have a white wife. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, leave Black Hammy alone.
This is a get out black guy. Like, I mean, like, you know.
Overnight, the first pictures of the suspects arrested in connection with the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. Among the suspects, 2 Americans, 35-year-old James Solage and another American man in his 50s.
What's his name? Why did they say one man's name and not the other one? What's the other man's name in his 50s?
What's the other man's? That does seem a little weird, right?
dozen of the suspects.
That's a glaring omission.
What's the other man's name?
What's the other guy's name?
Can you tell us the other man's name, please?
And another
That
American.
makes it feel very fetty, doesn't it? Like,
well, this guy's name is, Bill Johnson, and he lives in Weston. Okay, cool. What's the other guy's name?
it's so odd. Like, to me, all right, hear me out on this. And again, globalists, hire me if you want some, you're going to have to pay me, but, I'll help you out with this. You're very bad at this. See, what I would have done is, I would have left out both names. See, it's
right.
less
That would have been better.
conspicuous.
Yeah.
Yeah, two Americans, a 30-year-old man and a 50-year-old man. And you'd be like, I guess they ain't get their names yet. It just seems weird when you name one.
A man in his 50s. More than a dozen of the suspects are former members of the Colombian army. That country's president vowing to help Haiti investigate what happened.
Wait. So, hold on. This gets even crazier. Some are American, but some of them are in the Colombian army? What
Royce.
the fuck, bro? No, this is...
Royce,
I'm sorry. I'm calling it. I'm calling shenanigans.
No, listen.
I'm officially calling shenanigans.
Just because the other guys were from the army of the country that were involved in the Iran-Contra scandal and smuggling of cocaine. Royce, stop.
No.
I know where you're going with this.
Shenanigans!
And I don't want to see you putting your tinfoil hat on and start talking a bunch of weird shit about, the U.S. is doing stuff. Come on, man. Grow up.
Shenanigans. Come on. The more, because it starts off with a little bit, and then a little more, and then a little more, and then also the Colombian army, and also one of them used to serve in the CIA, and then also one was in the Biden administration. Like they keep adding to this. They've really front loaded this to just sneak in somewhere in the Colombian army. Like whatevs. Big deal.
This as new details of the attack are emerging. Local media reporting that the assailants stormed into the president's bedroom.
Yes, they were members of the Colombian International Army, also known as the CIA.
Wow, they straight up got into this dude's house.
Bro, yes, this is fucking nuts, dude.
Like, imagine how poor and shitty your country has to be when the president can get a home invaded.
12 times.
The assailants stormed the president's room. They shot him 12 times. They shot the first lady 3 times.
And for the flip side of that, if you ever tried that on the White House or any other place where a head of state in any first world country stayed, you'd be shot 15 times before you got even through the gate.
Dude, try that in Cuba. You'll get murdered. And that's not even first world. They'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, this seems really spoopy, man.
Yeah.
This is like one of those where it's like, I feel like security stood down, and this feels very odd.
There's the video of them going into his house.
There are fucking crack houses. There are trap houses in cities in America that you wouldn't be able to get in and kill the lead guy. Like, this just seems very spoopy to me.
President's bedroom, shooting him 12 times. His wife shot 3 times. She is now in Miami receiving treatment. Haiti.
You know, their hospitals are so bad they had to fly her to Miami to get treatment.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine a single hospital in Haiti that. I'm surprised they didn't take her to DR.
Why? Because they probably would have killed her. Dude, I don't trust any of those countries and how easy it is. I mean, they brought her here, honestly, to probably protect her.
Yeah, you're right. Take her to the country that probably had something to do with killing her.
Yes, that's a bad idea. Although, hey, this EMT right here, what do you think, huh?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Haiti's ambassador to the U.S. saying she is improving.
By the way, EMT bitches are fucking sexy because they're like, a white woman is an EMT. It's like, holy shit, a useful white woman. Like, Jesus, like that's salute. You don't see that in the millennial age anymore. So you're like, damn, girl's an EMT. All right, that's kind of sexy.
Ambassador to the U.S. saying she is improving, but has a long road to recovery ahead.
Frozen, translate. I know. Do you speak Haitian?
No, I don't speak Haitian.
Oh,
it's Creole.
I apologize, Mike. You're right. Haitian, do you Haitian? Frozen, do you speak Creole?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
What use are you?
Fuck.
I thought you were our linguistic translator, like in Star Trek. Isn't that always like an Asian person? Like when the machine breaks and they need it.
I thought you were a wind talker.
On Thursday, Haiti.
You should.
He's acting prime minister speaking out, saying, quote, this
I can't wait to work with the U.S. government. Please send the vaccines as soon as possible. Thank you. I'll translate. I mean, I'm assuming. This is me guessing, but I'll translate.
barbaric
People are
act.
trying to correct me that it's French, but the problem is I was only at 9th grade French.
But it's not. Haitians don't speak pure French.
Yeah, they don't. You're not gonna go to fucking. They don't speak like you're in Paris.
Is not going unpunished. And without question, there is a lot at stake for Haiti, a country that was already.
I also was eating while that thing was running, and I forgot to wipe this crumb off of my face.
Marcus Moore doesn't have a single black friend.
Of course not. He has a white wife. You know it.
He has one black friend, but it's like a guy that works in the sports department in the news place that he knows.
Already in the throes of political.
He looks like someone who makes his kids play field hockey at school.
Yeah, lacrosse. He played lacrosse in college.
Yeah.
And economic turmoil before the assassination, and now everyone is watching to see what will happen next, because there is a power vacuum with no clear indication of who.
To
will
be
the
fair, sir, there was a power vacuum 4 days ago there too.
Yeah, but
This guy wasn't exactly getting Haiti on the fast track to the 21st century.
but
so
now it'll make it easier for the Colombian International Army to put another person in charge.
and vac sites.
Mm-hmm.
This is so funny to me though that they're like, just this is the way they're like. And now without the president, Haiti's really gonna fall apart. Oh no, that would be terrible.
country into the future, and that's setting up for the potential of a power struggle ahead. George.
Such a troubled history in that country. Okay, Marcus, thanks very much.
Oh yeah, get your little. Oh, that's
Thank you. I was going to point that out too. Shut up. They should have ended right after there, right?
such a troubled. It's just
Is what
tragic.
he said, yeah.
Thank you.
You could tell I mean it because I'm whispering.
Yeah, I'm looking
I'm
down.
down an EMT hole, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, are they hot?
Oh yeah, give me hot EMT.
I'll check
girls.
right now. Peeps Cray, $5. Frozen. I bought you a Jollibee. Please love me. That's from Adrastia.
Here's the thing.
Can
I
you
hate
guys
Jolly-
donate to my PayPal?
You saw her try. That was one of the funniest things. You saw her try to dox Adonis Paul, and she was completely wrong with all the information.
I didn't, but that's hilarious. Oh yeah, no, I did. I've been. Oh yeah, because she got somebody else's, and then
Yeah.
also doxed Barbara McGill.
She's a real piece of shit. This lady.
I love that. Like AP always points out, she does the things to people that then she's like, "Duh, they put my address out there," and it's like, but you've done that. You do that to
Did you
people.
see somebody emailed her jokingly saying like, "I'll be over there so we could play hide the pickle." She made a video crying saying, "They're trying to rape me."
They're going to rape me, and the best part about that is, who sends somebody a rape threat with a specific time of day?
And also hide the
part
pickle?
Of it. No, 3:30 p.m. was the part that really killed me. Everyone kept laughing at the pickle thing, and I'm like, that's funny, but I couldn't get over somebody picking a specific time. I'm coming to rape you at 3:30 p.m. today. It's like, well, okay, that's oddly specific.
Oh fuck.
I have to pick up my dry cleaning first because they close early.
Ricky Roy gave us $5. Thank you. Hobo chili recipe, ham, huge milkers, and a potential Michael Avenatti sexy time tape in the near future. White Boy Summer keeps bringing the gifts. Hashtag pangolin. Hashtag male queef. Pandemonium. Why didn't we just use the earthquake weapon like we did before? Worked so well last time. Virus with a cause. How much for that?
Because he's dead. John Tenta died like 10 years
No,
ago.
that's, you're thinking of Earthquake from Earthquake and Typhoon. The natural disasters, the greatest tag team WWE's ever had. Virus for the cause. How much for that mammal? I love tropical things. The eyes are so cute. How much? This guy really wants to buy you, Frozen.
I'm not for sale, sir.
Yeah, well, why don't you stick yourself in that garage like everything else, then you'll be for sale.
Human trafficking is a crime.
Is it? Not of Asian people. It's encouraged. Pangolin 21. Guys, I've had enough. It's time to come out. I now identify as a frozen Asian. Great show as always. Hey, a pangolin just said they're a frozen Asian. See? You have solidarity, brother. Solidarity.
I hate all of
Let me see some of these EMTs you put. Ooh. Okay. All right. Here's one, Mike. Yay or nay?
Wait, hang on. I was trying to send something to somebody. Very yay. Very yay on that.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, I'm liking it. By the way, stick with these. I don't want them to get too modelly. Frozen. I don't want to feel like it's. I like pictures like this. Like I like porno. I like the real shit. I don't like it when it looks too fake, too overly produced. If it's just some fucking Instagram thought who bought an EMT outfit and has like a fucking professional photographer, I'm not interested. I want real hot EMT bitches.
I put more.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay. But what about this one though? She's not an EMT, but
No, but I'm pretty sure that she could probably revive me.
at least you boner. Am I right, fellas?
I'm pretty sure that if I were laying dead on the floor and there was no defibrillator and I was having a fucking cardiac arrest, she could just grab my crotch. Not only would I come back to life, but like I wouldn't even need to go to a hospital. Like my heart would I'd be healed.
You know what sucks? I was looking at this, and for whatever reason, on I don't know if you have it, Mike, but on Daywave now in the chat, I could do polls, like I could do like instant polls in the chat. But apparently in this channel, it's not letting me do any polls. Can you do it on your Nightwave?
I've never tried.
Yeah, we've been having fun with those on Daywave. Oh wait, we have some more of these. Wait, did I get them all? Hold on, let me see. Yes, we got them all. Oh wait, you know what I didn't check? Odyssey. I forgot. Let's see here. Curb Shifter. I'm a mod. Winky face. Then we got Stephanie says howdy y'all. Then we got Infevrio says I just now understood how to tip LBC, which is their coin. So you guys know which is their whatever credits. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, let's see here. Good news for students.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. Thank you for joining us. The CDC says fully vaccinated teachers, students, and staff do not need to wear masks inside schools. That updated guidance comes after Pfizer announced plans to seek emergency approval for a COVID booster shot. Right now.
Wait, what? So they still haven't finished fully approving the other ones. But now they're already looking for emergency approval for a booster shot, which would mean shot number 3 that you would have to take if you took the Pfizer one.
That booster is undergoing trials. Pfizer says the initial 2 doses of its vaccine still produces a strong immune response against the Delta variant, but a third would make that response even better.
Even better? That's great. Even more vaccine in you. You'll feel great by the end of it.
Except there was legitimately a virologist that came out and said that specifically they've done I don't even know if I can say it. There's a virologist who's legit who came out and said that the stuff they're saying just now isn't true. Let's just put it that way.
Mike, who's this Nazi virologist?
I'm trying to find it. Dr. David Bauer.
Sounds like a Nazi.
Well, you know what? It's still on YouTube, so maybe it's playable. I don't know. Well, no, it also doesn't have a lot of views.
I'm just gonna leave. We'll just leave. I'll take.
I'm gonna post a link for you, Royce, in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, on YouTube.
Just for me though. Nobody else click it because this may be misinformation.
This is just for Royce. Please, guys, don't violate our trust and click on that link.
Don't click it and save it and watch it later, okay?
Yeah, and I'm gonna post it in the patron Discord too, under show links, just in case anyone wants to see that. But let's just say that he says that the people that have had those things have had lower antibody counts, and that there are key antibodies that they're now missing. And So now people are saying we should get a booster shot of the thing again.
Yeah, and someone's saying, and I actually did see this, FBI drops thousands of pages of documents on murdered DNC operative Seth Rich. This is after they said they had nothing. And you notice whenever they want you, they drop something they don't want you to pay attention to, they always do it on a Friday. Always, because they think people like, new news cycle. No one's going to care.
The CDC and FDA are pushing back, though, saying fully vaccinated people, quote, do not need a booster shot at this time.
Why would these big pharma companies be pushing to do more booster shots then?
The Delta variant is the dominant strain in the U.S. and is surging in several states. Pfizer.
Hey, Mike, why don't you look at some of the states where the Delta variant is surging, huh? One of them, it's not Florida, by the way. One of them is California.
Also says it's developing an updated vaccine to target the Delta variant directly. Dr. William Schaffner joins me now.
That William Shatner looks terrible.
He's the medical director of the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases and a professor at Vanderbilt University School of Medicine. Dr. Schaffner, welcome. Great to see you. So let's begin with this updated guidance from the CDC out today. The agency now saying vaccinated teachers and students do not need to wear masks inside schools, which is clearly going to be very welcome news to a lot of people. But what do you make?
And what do you do in a place like Florida where they can't ask the students if they've been vaccinated or the teachers?
Of that, and what are the risks for a teacher or child if they're not vaccinated? Because of course we know.
Let's hear the risk. I can't wait to hear the risk. The fake risks they're going to make up.
12 and under cannot be vaccinated, especially when it's difficult to safely social distance in many schools.
Well, you're exactly right, Tanya, but I do hear the big hurrah out there as everybody heard about these new recommendations, because that will mean opening schools is much easier this fall. Unvaccinated teachers, my goodness, and other adults who are in schools, please, you still have plenty of time to get vaccinated. So let's do that.
How many public school teachers do you think are literally praying right now for some kind of a variant or another breakout?
They don't want to go to work. They want to be home in their pajamas on Zoom.
But I mean, nobody wants to go to work. And I think everyone has a certain level of like, I go to work. Right, but they take it to a level where I'm convinced there's some of them that would wish harm on entire buildings full of kids, as long as it got them another year off of work.
Agreed. I really agree with that.
They would be okay with. Oh man, if think about it, if we could just get like 500 kids to die, oh my God, I could get paid just chilling in my house in my pajama pants again for another. It's like, that's how evil some of these are the people teaching your kids. The people teaching your kids would push a button and kill 1,000 of your kids if they could get a year off from work.
Let's see here. Hobo chili recipe, frozen sweet pickle and mayo heads, beef drapes. She presents, lay on her and make a sweaty sandwich.
Jesus Christ.
Bon appetit. Rocktovic 78, Mersh, F, Mary, or K, Blair White, Caitlyn Jenner, or Lizzo. Keep up the good work, boys. Thank you. Society News. Fun fact, 5 world presidents have mysteriously died of COVID since December, since refusing to accept the vaccine for their countries. I know. I actually mentioned it during the Haiti thing. Son Goku, you see how you can't donate plasma if you get the jab? Yep. Virus with a cause, a frozen Asian. It sounds so exotic, like a cute boy with hot eyes. Can you blow out my candle? It's my birthday, and I only have one candle on my cake.
This doesn't classify as harassment.
I don't believe so. I think that's just having a fan. You're the cute one of the group. Xavier says, great show. As always, you guys are beasts. Thank you so much. The only beast here is Frozen because he is a pangolin.
And also Asian, so not human, technically.
Pure Police Cam says, a beer for both of you. Thank you. Travasky Mersh, I am on my way to become a comedian. Could you give your comedian opinion on my first bit? I read a story of a 15-year-old boy who was pulled from the rubble following the partial building collapse in Surfside. Why don't we make the whole building out of that kid? That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's a very good joke. That would have fucking killed me at a comedy club.
Pretty good. I will say that's pretty good.
Ah, fuck. I was really worried for a second because the setup. I'm like, oh, here we go with the bad bit thing. But that was
Very funny, buddy. Red Hawk bought a beer and says, "Wait, can you guys pause the show? My pizza's at the door." Arnold Nicotina bought a beer and says, "Hi, I'm Dr. Hugh Mann, and no, I don't identify as a lizard person."
Kevin's pointing out that that's an old Norm joke. It sounds like an old Norm joke. That's probably why it's so goddamn funny.
Still very funny.
Fuck.
Check this out, though. New Zealand. Well, New Zealand has a way of.
Well, what
finding-
happened to this guy? Did he get? This guy looks like a burn victim that recovered.
That's how everyone looks in New Zealand.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
This is what happens when they film Lord of the Rings in your country. So they're going to. Well, I'll let him tell you.
I think early next year we'll be in the phase of chasing up people who haven't come forward to get their vaccination
They'll be chasing people who haven't got the vaccination.
or have missed their bookings and so on. So everyone will be able to get a vaccine between now and the end of the year. But of course, you know, and I want every New Zealander to come forward, but human behaviour suggests that there will be some people that we have to actually really go out and look for, and some of that may...
Yeah, they're going to go out and look for him. What's the problem? Why are you making such a weird face, Mike? Big deal.
Do you know what's so creepy is like, it's not like we always knew this was coming, right? Like authoritarianism, but there's something profoundly creepy about like the New Zealand, Australian authoritarians because they still have that friendly accent. Well, yeah, well, of course, human nature predicts that, of course, they're not all going to get the vaccine. So we're going to send the military into your homes and shoot you.
every New Zealander to come forward, but human behaviour suggests that there will be some people that we have to actually really go out and look for. And some of that may spill into next year. But our commitment is everyone will have the opportunity to get the vaccine by the end of the year. Everyone will. But I can't say that, you know, that we're not going to have some hesitant people or some people who just haven't come forward that we don't have to go out and find next year.
What do you mean fine? Like you're going to forcibly inject them?
Go out and find is a very weird thing. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody that tells me half of what they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're like, we got to go find them. And you're like, and then, well, we got to find them first. Let's just find them. And you're like, well, but then what? Like, why won't you tell? Because you don't go out and find people unless there's a point, right?
Right.
So what's the end game here? Because I'm sure Hitler started by going, we just need to find all of them. You know? And you're like, okay, yeah, as the Führer says, we must just go find them. And then eventually it's like, now bring them to me. And it's like, well, wait a minute, what? Yeah, pull them out of their homes and bring them here. Well, okay, you just said we had to find them. I thought it was like when you work at a furniture store, you're doing inventory. I thought you just wanted us to find and tag every item on the showroom floor. Now you're telling me we're removing everything? Well, you didn't say remove.
Well, we do have something here I do have a white pill for you. First off, Virus of the Cause donated $5 again. And he says, how much for the Asian boy? He really wants you, Frozen. He's giving us a lot of money. I'm not going to say no at some point. He keeps giving money. So, yes, TikTok nurses are back because with the Delta variant comes TikTok nurses. However, this one just got fired.
Lanny, thank you very much. 12 investigates now. A Triad nurse says she has been suspended from her job after posting TikToks that went viral for some of the wrong reasons. Our Ford Hatchett spoke with both the nurse and her employer today. He joins us live in studio with this story. Ford, what are you hearing?
Yeah, Kenny, we were in contact with a nurse. Kelly Morris is her name. She says she's not able to work right now after being suspended for those TikTok videos she made that she says are just jokes, but some people believe are a form of patient mistreatment or resident abuse.
Kelly Morris worked as a nurse at the Citadel Winston-Salem nursing facility on 1st Street. She also has an active TikTok account where she goes by the username Bubblegum Kells and often includes content about her.
Do you want to see some of her fun TikToks? Because I'll go back to the story, but I do have some of her fun TikToks, and you tell me what you guys think of her totally cool and fun TikToks.
Oh, God, this bitch.
I'm not saying I hate you, but I'd unplug your vent to charge my cell phone. Me on my way to give my patients drugs so we could get some good sleep tonight.
That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me.
Whoa, 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 Lois, that is not my Batman class. No. Go back. I got it. That's really how she talks?
No, that's not how she talks. That's her doing a lip sync from a TikTok.
Oh, God. I mean, I'm not that relieved because there are nurses that talk like that. Jesus Christ.
Kells, and often includes content about her job that some say is way out of line. Several of you contacted WXII.
Me making sure my patients sleep all night because they kept me up last night.
12 this weekend, expressing concern over videos like these that appeared to show Morris joking about mistreating her patients.
Would you slap a patient for $1 million? It ain't about the money.
Morris says they're just jokes, but she's been suspended.
What was the last one? The ACLS leaving my body with my 94-year-old vented patient codes.
They're just jokes, but she's been suspended by her employer and now has created a GoFundMe page entitled...
She made a GoFundMe?
Oh, yeah, you didn't know. But by the way, this is my favorite. This is white woman responsibility summarized in one sentence. TikTok got me fired, so feed my kids. It's TikTok. Royce, the Chinese-owned viral video marketing app got her fired from her job. Not her, which, by the way, if she has a dark sense of humor, fine. All nurses and doctors are making these same jokes quietly to one another. And that's okay. Like, people do that in any job. Like, you're going to be like, God damn, some days I just want to strangle these patients. Like, you say shit like that, and that's fine in their own little break room, and they're breaking balls. But you made a public thing and tried to go viral saying really sick shit about people that are vulnerable. They're like, nobody wants to be in a hospital. Nobody wants to be under extensive medical care. Nobody wants these things. It's a very vulnerable, horrible thing for people to go through. And you're making these jokes, but like putting your face out there, and you did that. TikTok didn't get you fired. You got you fired.
Yeah, this isn't a fucking case of cancel culture. You were doing it in the hospital while you were on duty. That's like if a cop made a video going like, man, I just want to shoot black kids. He would be fired.
Yes.
They wouldn't let him keep being a cop.
This is like that kid that got shot, remember? And then the mom was like, this kid, my poor boy got shot over an air freshener in his car. And it turned out he had a gun warrant and he ran. It's like, there's all these other little things. And you're like, oh, no, you're right. It was the air freshener. Hey, let's sue the company that made the air freshener.
Fired, so feed my kids. As of this afternoon, the page has raised $55.
Not bad.
After speaking with an attorney, Morris opted not to sit down with us for an interview, but in a statement to WXII 12 News, Morris says, quote, the only thing hurt in my TikTok videos were people's feelings. All my videos are comedy skits. I can understand how someone can be upset, but not to the degree they are taking it.
No. Can you imagine? Okay, think about this, because this is the way I'm looking at this, right? Everybody here probably has all been in a hospital with a loved one sitting in that uncomfortable chair next to their hospital bed, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing what's going to be. Can you imagine just sitting there and scrolling through TikTok and seeing your nurse, the nurse taking care of like your father or your grandfather doing these little jokes? You would be livid, right? You would be like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, this is gross. These are the people, by the way, these are the people that were all heroes. Don't forget, frontline workers were all heroes.
I was ever harmed, and I treat all my patients with great care, and they all love me.
But being a TikTok thought was more important than my nursing job, is what she's saying.
Her employer also declined an interview with WXII, but in a statement, the Citadel at Winston-Salem's parent company, Accordius Health, saying, quote, the Citadel at Winston-Salem was made aware of TikTok videos by an employee last week. Our team investigated content and acted immediately. Misuse.
Remember, it was TikTok that got her fired.
Yeah, not her, not the thing she did.
It's like this also goes to like with some of the people that like. Now, look, I obviously firmly believe that you shouldn't be getting doxxed on the internet and have people go to your job and shit over your opinions. And there's been a lot of that that's happened, and it's gross. But there is also an element of like self-preservation that people lack, where it's like that Proud Boy that went to jail for getting in fucking gay fistfights over Gavin McInnes. He has 2 kids. Now those 2 kids aren't going to have a dad for a couple of years while he's upstate. It's like there is cause and effect. So it's like maybe don't, like, if you got to figure out, if you have kids, for instance, like this woman claims has kids and her kids were relying on her for a job, then maybe your focus should have been on your duties as a mother and as a healthcare worker. And you should have been, you know what I mean? Like, nobody ever takes responsibility for the things they did to get them where they're at anymore. And I'm not saying that people like deserve to have lit, pitchfork and torch mobs every time, show up outside their job every time they make a mistake. But maybe if you have a decent job and a loving wife and some beautiful kids and you have a good home, maybe stop fucking around on the internet so much. Maybe dial that back a little bit. Like maybe the world doesn't need to see all your based tweets. Like sometimes you can just go, I don't need to do. There's so many other people that are like, yeah, man, I just post an occasional picture of a cute otter and, I'll share an opinion once in a while, but I'll kind of edit myself so I'm not being too spicy. And, I have things to lose. Why don't people think that way anymore?
Well, it's some Adonis pointed it out. She needs a GoFundMe to pay for her half black kids. But where's the dad? Like, she's the only one providing. Like, you can really go down a fucking rabbit hole. All the things wrong with this person, Again, there is a difference between what she's doing and then a nurse like her getting fired because she says, I think Trump won the election. You shouldn't be fired for that because that doesn't affect your job, right? Like, that's not. But doing this affects your job, Think about this. You're representing whatever hospital you work for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm in no way saying that, like you said, saying Trump won the election shouldn't get you. I meant more of the spicier shit is what I'm saying. Like people that literally posted some very spicy content and then they got the trouble at their shitty 9 to 5 and they go, well, that's kind of bullshit. I shouldn't be censored. And I'm like, I do agree that you shouldn't be censored, but also, if you really liked your $60,000 a year job, you should have been posting the K word on Twitter and then also not using a VPN. Like, there's parts of this that are on you. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. But yeah, this woman, fuck her. But I just want to point out, $450 to $5 is what her GoFundMe is up to.
Yeah.
But that baby is dead. That baby is fizzling out.
Yeah, no one else is going to give to her. Why would they?
No.
Who would give to her?
She'll probably end up, I'll say probably because they just did another round of stories, she'll probably end up with $1,000, $1,100 tops, maybe, if it gets a good push. But most of it's like $5 donos. I don't know why these people are donating $5 to insult her. Which is just stupid.
This is a very good point. Mr. Bali's son goes, it's like working at McDonald's and making TikToks about wanting to put boogers in the food. I mean, you're going to get in trouble.
They're going to go, hey, can I talk to you about your booger TikToks? It's not helping us.
Use of social media platforms by employees violates our core values and is not tolerated. Any form of resident abuse is never tolerated. Be assured we have handled the situation and reported her actions to all appropriate state and federal agencies.
And the company's statement went on to say that they love their residents and are grateful for their healthcare team that protects them. And Morris told me that to her, this is just another example of cancel culture. And says she feels she's being targeted by a campaign of people who just can't take it.
This isn't cancel culture.
This woman is...
She thinks this is not cancel culture, okay? You were doing it at your job.
This woman is a profoundly, irredeemably shitty person.
Yep.
To her core. Like, you know what I mean? And that's coming from me. And I'm certainly not putting myself up on a pedestal. I'm a shit person. But that woman is so profoundly broken in a dark way that even after all of this, she hasn't even, because like most people do shitty things in life, but then there's some backlash, and honestly, like, I don't believe in cancel culture, but I do believe in shaming people, and there is a certain amount of social shaming that's healthy when we shame each other for things and make people feel bad for being bad people. most folks, if you get drunk, right, and drive your car and you hit somebody and they die, even if they don't die, maybe you just hit somebody and fuck them up really bad. You'll see a lot of times those people come to court or come and they'll be like, you'll see genuine remorse. Like, you'll see people that'll go, Jesus Christ, I never thought I would hit a point like this in my life. I've seen like some of these DUI like stories of people where you see them come to court a couple months later and they're 30 pounds lighter and they're like this, they're pale. You can tell they're not going out and enjoying the Florida sun. These are broken people. But that kind of shows that they're not as awful as this woman is. Having some consequences for things and then being like, I'm like, there's no way for me to say I'm sorry enough, and this is really fucked up, but you can see it in me that I fucking feel this. I'm feeling what I've done. This woman is just like, cancel culture, am I right? Anyway, give me money because TikTok got me fired. God damn it, man. Like, I feel terrible for her children because her kids are going to be raised by this woman, and we all know it's probably maybe just her and then the occasional series of black guys coming in and out of the home. That's it for her. That's these kids' future.
Yeah, I mean, you want cancel culture. Cancel culture is what the ADL just did to Nick Fuentes, you know?
Yeah.
That's actual cancel. Look, regardless if we disagree with him or whatever.
Are we just bringing it up so everyone will shut the fuck up about it already?
Because if we don't, they're not going to shut up. But I actually had it on the docket. I was going to do it after the break. But yes, what the ADL, let me just be clear here. What the ADL did to Nick Fuentes fucking was disgusting. They try to do it to Tucker too. The SPLC has us on a fucking hate list. We know that happens. We know, but at this point, it's one of those things where things happen so many times. Yes, the Twitter and the ADL work together. That's going to happen. There's really not much you could do about it. You get angry. You could bitch about it. We were just popped on YouTube for fucking bullying and harassing Jeffrey Epstein. Did you go to Fuentes' podcast and ask him, hey, are you going to talk about the ROTC boys getting banned for talking about Jeffrey Epstein? It fucking sucks. I really don't know what else you want us to say. We might not like Fuentes. I might not like Fuentes, and his fucking little smarmy attitude and all that. However, yes, it is fucked up. Yes, it is wrong. And he absolutely shouldn't have been kicked off. Great example is we don't like a lot of the shit Gavin's done, but Gavin should have never been got kicked off of shit either. Yes, the ADL is fucking weaponized. Yes, Twitter works with them. But again, this has been happening since we started this show, guys. Since we started the show, the first 90 days, we could not stream, 6 months, we weren't allowed to stream on YouTube. We weren't allowed. We just weren't allowed to stream on YouTube. We've been on fucking watch lists. They fucking let hit pieces. It happens all the time. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly wrong what they did. It's not going to stop, but I mean, it's clearly wrong. It does suck. I don't like Nick Fuentes, but the ADL can just
do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want whenever they want, but we know that.
And so I clearly dislike them more, but at the same time, like Roy said too, are you guys running around like making sure that Ethan Ralph and Nick Fuentes and everybody else in the sphere is always talking about us when we no.
This wasn't like in Minneapolis. I want to just show the difference between protesters turning violent there and turning violent here. This wasn't like in Minneapolis when the protesters turned violent and then the police came to try to stop them. They were protesting and none of them were being violent. Really, none of them were being violent. They were just like, yeah, liberty, yeah, liberty. And then the cops came and started hitting them with sticks. And I'll play the video after this for a second, show you what else they did.
It's almost as if like they have pride in their own neighborhoods and don't burn down their own shit. It's weird.
Yeah, it's dude, I'm telling you, it's fucking...
It's almost like they don't want to burn their own shit down. Like, a real protest is like, like in these kind of countries, it's always like, all right, let's go surround the palace of the president and let's start breaking the gate down. Like, they don't fuck around. They never go, hey, let's go burn down the AutoZone.
President Miguel Diaz-Canel himself made an appearance at one protest and spoke with some of the citizens who confronted him. Demonstrators here say they are fed up by food shortages, rising prices, collapsing infrastructure, and the government's response to a...
That's a hospital in Cuba. Looking good.
That looks like the hospital from Joker.
Yeah.
Like, it's that bad.
rising number of COVID-19 infections.
Peeling
on Saturday.
lead, like literally still have old lead paint on the walls that's peeling. Like,
yeah. They're not having for anything.
Cuba recorded nearly 7,000 new cases.
the rusted oxygen tank. I mean, all of it. Like, if you saw, like, look, I know that our healthcare system is deeply flawed, and I know that our pharmaceutical companies and hospitals take great advantage of the American people, and I'd like to see some reform with that. That being said, you wouldn't see a speck of rust on an oxygen tank in a hospital in America. You go to the hospital here, everything's clean, fucking shit works.
Yeah, but remember Michael Moore said that healthcare is free in Cuba, so it's better? Free healthcare.
Cuba recorded nearly 7,000 new cases. On Cuban television, Diaz-Canel...
Oh, that's the other thing. That's the other very good point. On Saturday, there were 7,000 new cases of COVID in one day. On Saturday. 7,000 cases. There's some fuckery afoot, and it's unbelievable the fuckery that's happening.
Blamed the protest on the U.S. and its trade embargo for a severe impact on Cuba's recent economic downturn.
Can I have 2 boxes of craqueñas, please?
Remember, it's the U.S.'s fault.
Also,
it's the U.S.'s fault.
$25 for 1 package of craqueñas, and you're probably only allowed to buy 1.
That's correct. Per family.
25, and that's probably 25 American.
It's bad.
Impact on Cuba's recent economic downturn.
The Trump administration passed many more regulations, many more sanctions against it.
It's Trump's fault. They've had communism there since they blew up JFK's head.
It was Trump's fault.
You're right. This is Trump's fault. Obviously, Trump is the reason Cuba hasn't had food for 60 years. It's Trump.
I've been saying it. Well, Trump and COVID was.
Right.
Trump and
right.
COVID.
Well, they're
exacerbated
one and the same.
They are.
Which basically has cut off all income coming into Cuba.
Oh, yeah? You sound like a real Cuban. What part of Cuba are you from?
Yeah.
Boca?
Yeah, fucking, excuse me, Jewish woman from Bensonhurst. But,
God damn it, these people.
Quite frankly, look, as a fellow Cuban.
Oh, my God.
My people have to be freed. We need to give us democracy.
You could have rolled out a Jim Acosta who says he's Cuban, and he would have done these talking points for you. But you roll this woman out? Really? This is the woman you put out?
Portia Siegelbaum is a
What was her name? I got to hear her name again. Remember, we're back on our channel. I just want to hear her name again. No context. We'll just hear the name again. You ready?
Coming into Cuba.
Portia Siegelbaum is a CBS News producer based in Cuba.
What?
I think the Biden administration, he at least said at the beginning he was going to review this policy and make changes, but nothing has happened.
If you lift the embargo, because I always want to blame the embargo. If you lift the embargo, here's the thing, okay? Any money or aid that goes, that's why I've always been one of those, do not give money to the Cuban government. Do not give money to Cuba. Any money that is given to them will go into the pocket of the people in the government, and the people on the streets will never see it.
That money's going towards gay sex parties and more Adidas tracksuits. And that's it. That's all it's going to.
Yes. It's like if you gave money to a gay Italian festival.
Or as we call it, the San Gennaro Festival. I mean,
fair enough.
Well, we just lost all the Italians.
Yeah, cute. Only the people that dress like the Como brothers do on their free time get the money. But the money doesn't go there. So they think they were to lift the embargo today. Like right now, we'll lift the embargo. Okay, they're still not going to get new cars. They're still not going to get food. They're still not going to get any of these things. The embargo has nothing to do with it.
Several politicians have expressed their support for the people of Cuba and those protesters, including Cuban-American Senator Marco Rubio. As one defector told our CBS Miami affiliate, seeing those protests was, quote, magical. Anne-Marie?
Well, speaking...
I'm sorry, something humongous happens. This is actually a big deal. And her response is,
Well, why? How come referring to it as a dangerous insurgency. I mean, those people are trying to overthrow that government.
They look like a bunch of white nationalists to me, my friend.
Yeah, I'm pretty concerned that we're allowing Cuba to just fall apart like this.
Speaking of that, do we know what the latest is on the ground in Cuba now?
Well, considering they've cut off power, internet, and any form of communication, we do not.
That's something we will have to monitor. We don't know at this point whether those protests will be allowed to continue. As you saw, that there are already government pushback against those demonstrations. So today will be a day to see maybe who has been arrested, how those people are being treated, whether the internet is being restored on the island. Because
no, it's not.
Because it was knocked out.
Also, they're making it seem like they had internet before.
In several parts as those demonstrations were happening. So there are a lot of questions, of course, about what's happening there. But you can imagine that here in Miami, these people who have come out here to support those protesters may be out here again expressing their support.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. You know, you point out that the restaurant where you're at is sort of the epicenter, sort of the heartbeat of the Cuban community there.
That's not Hialeah, so no, it's not.
Epicenter of the heartbeat. Pick one, lady.
It's both.
One or the other.
It's both. It's the epicenter of the heart.
What was the atmosphere like when people were taking to the streets in Miami over the weekend?
Well, they were playing a lot of Pitbull, and it smelled like pork. Back to you, Ann.
That's pretty much what
it was just teeming with people out here. Police have...
By the way, don't interview Pitbull, because if you think Pitbull was fucking based when it comes to the vaccine, don't talk to him about Cuba, because it's fucking crazy, okay?
Pitbull should lead a right-wing uprising in Cuba.
Be amazing. They'll make him the president like that. President of Cuba, Pitbull.
Had to actually shut down Calle Ocho, the main street.
Oh, that's I'll translate for you. That's 8th Street.
Or as I call it, the no-go zone.
That goes through Little Havana because there were so many people here last night.
Calle Ocho is one of those places where you legitimately will find not one person that speaks English.
All the billboards are in Spanish. You're right. All the billboards are in Spanish. Everything there is in Spanish. What you will find is great food.
Amazing food, good haircuts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot of you going, fade here, and then I guess just do, yeah, see. And you're like, but they're going to hand you a really amazing plate of food for cheap, and you're like, you nailed it. You nailed it. Didn't need to speak English.
Everything peaceful, but doing everything they can to try to bring attention to the plight of those people in Cuba. Many of the people here not only have relatives there, many of them fled the island themselves, escaping the communist regime there. So they have a lot of passion attached to this. It's very personal and deeply ingrained in them that when they see just a sliver of protest on the island where dissent is not tolerated, they want to come out here and really just fan those flames to keep that message going out there.
Buddy in the chat has a good point. Cuba just never had real communism. That's the problem.
You're right.
It's never been tried.
It's never been tried. Not real communism. No. They.
So any response at all from U.S. officials? Has the Biden administration addressed the crisis? Or
Biden still thinks he could go down to Cuba and go to a casino like it's 1934. Fucking the Biden administration.
I want to see if my friend Meyer Lansky was down there. Is he doing good? I wanted to...
The sanctions originally imposed by the Trump administration, which...
The sanctions weren't originally imposed by the Trump administration. The sanctions have been imposed for 60 years, dude. 70.
Listen, okay. It's like I said earlier, all right? We're gonna look at all options we have on the table, and next week at some point I'm gonna sit down with Batista, and we're gonna discuss the future of the Cuban people. But you got to get Batista to the table, and you got to get the other Guardians of the Galaxy to the table, and you got the little tree guy.
No, don't get Don. He's doing it again. Turn his mic. Cut 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 his mic.
And then that's how because he's the guy in charge, and we'll meet, and we'll probably have some mojitos at the casino.
Which, as we heard from the correspondent there, is, or producer rather, is adding to the economic crisis.
He starts naming Democratic senators from the 70s and 80s that he needs. Look, we got to get Ted Kennedy on this. We got to get other prominent people from both sides. We need Arlen Specter to help us out. You're like, Jesus Christ. Or who was the guy from North Carolina? Jesse something. He was the old man. Remember what I'm talking about, though? Like, he's just going to Strom Thurmond. We got to get Strom Thurmond to come over and make this a bipartisan effort.
That's right. That's one of the things we have not heard from the Biden administration is a solid or detailed plan about how to deal with Cuba. As you referenced there, the Trump administration rolled back many of the reopenings that
Jesse Helms?
Jesse Helms.
Had started under
I was
the
just
Obama
congratulating. I'm like, that's
administration.
who it was, Jesse Helms.
So we're waiting to hear more.
Just saying people like Jesse Helms, Tip O'Neill, Strom Thurmond.
And if the Republicans like them aren't going to get on side with me and Senator Kennedy and the other ones, we're going to be in trouble here.
I just called my good friend Robert Byrd on the phone.
Robert. Oh, Jesus Christ.
More from the Biden administration today. So far, we have not seen the president directly respond to the protests in Cuba. We have seen other officials with the State Department come out and say that they support the ability for people to gather peacefully, to demand freedom, and that they would
they're arresting this guy. I don't know if you guys, fun fact, man buns also are illegal in Cuba. So.
By the way, one of the few laws that I agree with.
Yeah. You'll never catch Andy Worski in Cuba.
Any attempt by the Cuban regime to use violence to suppress those protests. So we're expecting...
Should we check in to see if they're using any violence to suppress the protest? Let's check. Let's check to see what's happening in Cuba if they're using violence to suppress the protest. That's them firing into a crowd, folks.
You know, it's weird, though. I got to give Cuba props. It's weird to see everybody of all races all marching for the same purpose. Like, it's weird when you don't have devious, subversive media types pitting everyone against each other, divided along racial lines. It's weird when people just identify as a nation of people and they just want to rip the guy in power out of his home. It's weird. It's weird how that works.
That is a great point. When you look at the people demonstrating, white Cubans, black Cubans, it doesn't fucking matter. And over here, we can't even fucking we can't do anything together.
Well, yeah, they don't want that here because it would be, could you imagine if like even, let's say 100 million of us of all different backgrounds finally just fucking got fed up enough. So they're always just like, those Schwanzes are the reason why, they keep burning down your precious auto zones. And then they go to the black people and they're like, it's those white guys that won't give you a loan.
Dude, they're firing a lot into that.
By the way, name redacted, what are you talking about? They're all the same race. Yeah. Tell that to a Castizo. Go ahead. You go tell a Castizo that they're all the same. Go ahead and tell a light-skinned... You ever meet a girl that's like, oh, I'm Cuban, but mostly Spanish? They always do that. And my family's mostly the Spain side of Cuba. We're not the other side.
I will tell you from firsthand experience that there is a difference. There are white Cubans and there are black Cubans. Just like there's white Americans and there's black Americans. Someone's got a good point. The reason that they're marching together is because Cuba doesn't have American media. They have no media, so they're not. There's not that divisive push.
Yeah, it's just everybody going, hey, you guys getting fucking sick of the president? Yeah, let's all go to his house.
Exactly.
Like we can't, and here it's like you buy a Lego set and then take a fucking couple days off to go live stream in DC, and now you're literally on a no-fly list, prison for life.
I know people are saying the camera's shitty. This is the newest phone, the smartphone they could get. Okay, give them a break.
Yeah, the fact that he's filming it at all is a
It's
miracle.
fucking amazing.
This guy should have a YouTube account so everybody could go, hey, where'd you film this on? A potato? And they're like, I would kill for a potato right now. I would trade this phone for a potato.
I'm so hungry. I'm so
Can you
hungry.
please not say potato in my fucking my comment section? To be fair, you could have told me this was Myrtle Beach on 4th of July and I would have believed you.
Yeah. She's saying that she can't find a good angle to show them the crowd.
She's basically saying, I can't find a good angle, and I'm also not stupid enough to go out
go
there
outside,
and go,
yeah.
hey, what's going on?
So that's pretty much the video. That's just them shooting into crowds, which is happening. They've been pulling up in vans and arresting people. It's.
I mean, for fuck's sake, man, just give these people the COVID vax already. This is insane.
That died down. Last
Give them
night,
what they want.
Last night, that was the big push. Today, that's kind of pulled back a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because once you start talking to people there, they're like, I don't give a fuck about COVID. Can you give me food?
I'll tell you what, I'll take a deal. You give me COVID, and I'll take food. If you give me food, I'm willing to be infected with COVID. Give me COVID-infected food, and I'm going to eat it right now.
It sounds delicious.
Possibly to hear more today from the Biden administration about not only how they view the protests that are currently happening there, but at some point people are going to start demanding a more solid plan, more details about how they will
What does
deal
this guy
with Cuba.
think he's going to do?
I don't know, but you notice that a lot of the police force is just these older commie Cubans that were fucking there since fucking Castro. You know, it's not a young police force.
So it's not surprising that the administration in Cuba would, blame the sanctions for the current economic crisis. But I think this tweet was sort of surprising from Cuba's Director General for U.S. Affairs. He slammed the U.S. State Department and its officials on Twitter. And the quote was, for promoting social and political instability in Cuba, and that Cuba is and will continue to be a peaceful country contrary to the U.S. Any reaction to that tweet?
Nice little shade. I like that.
Did throw some shade there, but it's only peaceful because you'll get murdered.
Well, that's been kind of the line down in Cuba as far as the government there is concerned. They believe that many of these protesters are either being paid by people here in the United States or essentially being thrust out there on the streets by people in the United States who want to foment some social change there. But if you talk to anybody here in Miami, they'll tell you, no, these people are just fed up, and the pandemic has done nothing but
Well, they're up. They're not the fed part.
worsen the situation there.
Again, with the pandemic making
That's
it
all they
worse.
can do.
It's just
That's all that. It's always the
goddamn
COVID. It's everything that's bad is
I don't know if
COVID.
you guys know that right before COVID, like Cuba was like a paradise.
Oh, yeah, it was Wakanda.
beautiful. It was.
Yeah.
Many blame, of course, on the socialist policies
Cuba
of
was
the island.
Wakanda once in the 50s.
Yeah, it's a really good. Dude, Cuba was better than Vegas. It was dope.
You talk to anybody here in Miami, they'll tell you, no, these people are just fed up, and the pandemic has done nothing but worsen the situation there that many blame, of course, on the socialist policies of the island. So we'll like I said, we'll have to wait and see what additional responses come today from the U.S. government against not only what the regime may be carrying out right now on the island as far as any backlash for those protesters, but to see whether other protests do indeed happen today.
Also, I love the related video about voting restrictions. Can we please stop calling that voting restrictions?
Oh my God, I know, it's ridiculous.
Why don't we call it what you guys called what you did for the election? We're fortifying them.
New York Times with tweet of the week, shouting freedom and other anti-government slogans. Hundreds of Cubans took to the streets and cities around the country on Sunday to protest food, medicine shortages, and a remarkable eruption of discontent not seen in nearly 30 years. And Jack Posobiec.
I hate Posobiec, but this did make me laugh.
Jack Vasobiak. Haiti, South Africa, Cuba, and Venezuela are all boiling up, but your MyPillow.com stays cool all night. Promo code POSO.
I hate him, but that was funny.
It was. You can't argue that that's not a funny thing.
Is that like a thing with the MyPillow thing, though? Like, is that legit? Does it stay cool all night?
Yeah.
Like, do you have one?
I have. I don't have one, but I know people that have, and I've actually seen it. It's supposed to be comfortable. I don't know. I've never slept on the whole night.
The
So.
staying cool thing is big for me.
Mhm.
See, now Big Scrum saying those pillows get so hot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. See, people are saying no, it doesn't. Okay, so then why lie about it?
Dave Walker says, I know Royce is conditioned. I'm conditioned, by the way, guys, to want to be white, but most Latinos don't think like that. I'm sorry, but they do. You go to, and it's not just Cuba. You go to any fucking country in Latin America, and there is the lighter-skinned people and the darker-skinned people, and they
Yeah.
are racist against each other. That is a fact. Like, there's white Cubans, and then there's black Cubans. There is a difference. There is a huge difference.
Yeah, stop basing it based on two fucking gay Hispanic twinks that you met in college. That you're like, oh, they're not. Like, do you understand? Only America, England, Australia, and Canada do people in your generation just actively want to be losers. The rest of the world is usually like, no, who are those rich white dudes that like all have like gated houses? I want to be like that. What are they doing to get those houses? I want to be like those guys. They're not like, oh no, I'm the biggest loser. No, I'm the biggest loser. They're like, how can we trick these people into thinking we're white people? So yeah, that's your Latinx friends aren't real Latinos. And their families hate them.
Yeah. Mersh's Bay, Free Hong Kong. You know, before I read this. Do you know what they call white Cubans? Americans, because they were smart enough to come over here. Mersh's Bay, Free Hong. That's my grandfather's joke. That's not my joke. I just want to be clear, but that was a joke that he's told me. Mersh's Bay, Free Hong Kong. Frozen knows nothing. Mersh gets more hoes than all his haters in his entire lifetime. I could be Nightwave. Someone bought a beer and they said Asians are 66% of the world's population. I'm a minority. Already read that. Lucas R. I went to Cuba in 2006. 99% of my luggage was hygiene products for the people because COVID caused a shortage or something. Yeah, 2006, exactly.
Can I just, I want to, there's somebody in the chat I wanted to address concern. Dorothy said, FEMA and FCC test August 11th nationwide. Why? They do that every year.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's just a heads. I mean, they literally are required to do that once a year. They literally once a year, guys. And every year we get the people that are like, they're rolling it out, guys. Agenda 51, folks, here at Kenya. Like, every year they test all the broadcast systems, and FEMA does drills.
Everybody
year.
everybody that says that stuff are the people that don't realize you're doing it right in front of your eyes. We don't need to control. They don't need to broadcast
They
stuff.
already
They
control you.
own all the media.
Yeah,
Like, I love that they believe that there needs to be this other thing. They're already doing it.
Oh, dude, you know what? When I used to live, bro, when I used to live near Camp Lejeune, you'd hear people training. You'd hear explosives going off, and they'd be training. And I'd be like, oh, boy, they're training. What's that about? What are they? Why are they practicing how to kill people? What's that about? And you're like, I don't know, in case they have to kill people, I guess, right?
Frozen's mom bought 2 beers. You boys better stop corrupting my son. He told me you guys force him to look at inappropriate pictures of women. He no want to stand up to you because you his only friends. Frozen, you better stop or I cut your internets off. Comes get your noodles and egg roll. They ready, honey.
Why did it start to turn into a Down syndrome child?
That's how they spelled friends. They spelled friends, F-W-E-N-D-S.
You know which, I need to find some new palette cleansers. Give me a second.
Ooh.
Yes, nice.
Palette cleansers.
Siski Pisky just gave 3 beers and said, yo. Yo to you, sir. Yo to you. So, yes, that's...
Beer
that's
Porn
a good
said
one.
it's Agenda 21. I got it wrong. And they're rolling it out in front of your faces. And if I haven't realized it yet, I'm part of the problem. Fear Porn. Then why are you watching a show? You should be getting ready right now. This right now, what you're doing is a massive waste of time. No, Royce, they're rolling out Agenda 21. You heard them. And you're sitting here watching two fat guys make jokes about their dicks. So maybe you're also part of the problem because you're sitting here watching me make fun of your beliefs instead of burying a container ship in your backyard so you can start building your fucking your bug out shack.
So,
our boy who has just been flinging shit at every three-letter agency he can.
Fucking nuts at this point.
Tucker's that guy in prison that like it saves all his piss and shit in a jug and then just waits for a guard to come by and it's like, take that, motherfucker, and you're like, God damn it, now they're not gonna feed you for a week.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. We're coming to you live, as we always do. Live is more fun. But tonight with a special Inside the Issues edition of the show. There are an awful lot of equity and inclusion consultants and drones. We weren't getting more sophisticated surveillance equipment or more agents in the field.
He's talking about in 2015, they raised the budget for the three-letter agencies.
No, that money was earmarked for new platoons of equity and inclusion consultants and HR administrators.
Nice.
The point of the money was to make the intelligence community more diverse, meaning less white and less male. Finally, America's spies would look different. And that is essential if you want to well, actually, we're not sure why it's essential. What do the race and gender of intelligence agency employees have to do with keeping America safe? Well, they never told us. Instead, they repeated something that we had heard once or twice before. They said, diversity is our strength.
Knowing. God, even one word from her is just so, I hate this woman.
I honestly, I truly believe that their plan was to get her in sooner, but they have to just keep patching up Joe and sticking him out there because it's like
she can't even get over with her own people.
They know, like there's already people like higher ups going like, we can't roll this bitch out. They're gonna, dude, it's gonna look like Cuba in 2 weeks. Like, imagine her having to give a speech every day. It would, or every couple of days. America would start flipping over cars and just setting shit on fire. All of us would just be like, I hate this. Like Joe, at least is like I said before, he's like when you give your kid Benadryl when they're acting up, so they go to sleep a little earlier. That's Joe. Joe's just, oh, we're gonna sit down and meet up at the thing.
Okay, Joe.
And you're
yes,
like,
Joe.
all right, great. But as soon as she's like, we have to, you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill this bitch.
She's the
worst. She's the worst.
Our diversity is our strength, and our unity is our power.
And I say to them, our diversity is our strength.
Our diversity, our patchwork heritage is not a weakness. It is still and always will be one of our greatest strengths.
Really, because I thought it was a nuclear arsenal.
But it turned out that diversity wouldn't be our strength. Ba-ba-da-bump.
Next time on Arrested Development.
This is the story of a black president who undid 200, 300 years of greatness in just 8 years.
Our diversity is one.
Oh.
And then there's just some cutting to Will Arnett playing an Obama voter. I made a huge mistake. Oh, God, this is great.
Here I am next to this woman who has time and time again undermined me and ruined my career. But please vote for her.
I wish he was that calm. This is nuts.
His strengths.
Our diversity is one of our greatest strengths.
I think this is an opportunity to establish that out of our diversity comes an enormous strength.
How does that work exactly? Shut up. Just read the cliche. It's on the card. Whatever. It's enormous strength. And by that measure, we are now officially much stronger. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence has just released this proof of it. It's called the Annual Demographic Report for Fiscal Year 2020, Hiring and Retention of Minorities, Women, and Persons with Disabilities in the United States Intelligence Community.
Nice.
That's the title. And you're going to want to get a copy in time for Christmas. Not to read it. It's not meant to be read.
Fucking smug
it's
asshole.
Unreadable. But for the pictures are amazing. There's one on the screen. We now have conclusive photographic evidence that our spy agencies employ several people with different color skin. There's even a woman in a wheelchair. There's also a man who appears to be blind. Now, how do we know he's blind? We don't make assumptions like that. But in this case, he's got Ray Charles glasses on, a cane, and a seeing eye dog.
What if he's just a super cool dude with a dog?
And a walking stick.
That's
what if
I'm
it's a
saying.
super cool dude hiking with a dog and a walking stick?
Not a walking stick, a cane, which is just which cool covers the glasses and the cane part, and then he just has a dog with him. Maybe he's a cool spy. Or how about this? They're spies, bro. They
now-
lie all the time. What if he's pretending to be blind and the dog's his partner? Boom, and then like you feel bad, you let the blind guy in.
What if he's infiltrating a blind white nationalist group?
Huh? You ever think about that? No, you only think about yourselves.
Charles glasses on, a cane, and a seeing eye dog. That seems like a lot for one man. Remember, the best spies have a backup plan.
He is.
They're gonna kill you, Tucker.
He's had it with them, man.
The best spies have a backup plan.
I like this Tucker. There's
From when we started, since we started our show, we played a lot of Tucker. Obviously, he is. You could watch if you watch from year to year. You could see him giving less and less fucks. It's amazing to watch.
I have gone through some phases in my life where I was at certain jobs or I was at certain things, and I'd had it, right? Where I'd had it,
right?
And I can always pick up that vibe from people. Tucker's fucking had it. He's had it. He's just at this point, he's the guy that would rather collect unemployment and be fired. So it's like you're just coming to meetings and going, no, yeah, that's a great idea. Why don't we just file Chapter 11 now and fucking save ourselves all some time? And you're going, that's the owner. You can't talk to him like that. And you're like, I don't care anymore. I don't care. Fire me. I'll take
Remember
fucking unemployment.
when he told Judge Napolitano to basically fuck himself in nicer terms, but he worked with him. He was like, yeah, fuck this guy too.
Where you can't even give people the pleasantries anymore of pretending to humor them. You just go right into them.
And remember, the best spies have a backup plan. Let's say Russian assassins come after our blind intelligence agent as he's picking up a dead drop of microfilm in a park in East Berlin. Somehow they manage to take out his seeing eye dog, maybe with a net.
Well, Royce, how would you do it?
Maybe with a net. It's a cartoon.
I mean, he's doing.
It's effective.
He's doing a fantastic job of underscoring just how ridiculous everything's become.
With a net.
Some kind of net.
It's okay. He can manage because he still has both the cane and the Ray Charles glasses. And by the way, we assume the cane shoots curare darts. At the CIA, they think of everything. That's their job. But what is the blind guy's job exactly?
He really does have a good point that I didn't even think of in that. Why would you have the dog and the cane?
You don't need both.
That does make me chuckle. Good eye.
God damn, man, that got me.
Exactly. What does he do in our fabled intel community? How is he keeping America safe? We don't doubt that he is, but how? Well, we don't know because the report doesn't tell us. Nor does it explain whether there seems to be some sort of dark halo around the lower part of the blind man's body in the picture. What
I have the answer for that.
Oh, no.
Photoshop.
is that exactly? Is it spy vapor?
Come on! Fucking spy vapor?
He really just doesn't.
Question. Where are all the old people? A lot of Americans are pretty old. The intel community says it's diverse, so where are the secret citizens, senior citizens? Where are the 80-year-old super spies? You would hate to think that for all of its famous sensitivity, the Biden people fell prey to ageism. We may need a class action suit to sort this out. And while we're at it, honestly, we didn't see any trans women, non-binary pansexual two-spirits, or a single person from Malawi. So that picture, which we greeted with joy because of its strength, is starting to look problematic. And in fact, it is problematic.
Also, to the fake spy girl in the middle, you could get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
According to Freelance Intelligence Analysis on Twitter, experts on digital manipulation, that image, the one on your screen, is not real. Those people were never in the same room at the same time. Some of them don't even work for the federal government, maybe none of them. The whole thing is a disinformation campaign. It's a Soviet-style fake. We're serious. Apparently, the American intel community spent some of its diversity budget not to achieve diversity, but instead to buy a stock image from the website Shutterstock. The picture you just saw is entitled, quote, Portrait of Multicolored Cultural Office Staff Standing in Lobby.
Oh, God.
Now, you could buy that picture, too. You could put it on your next Christmas card if you wanted to, and maybe you should.
How do we have a better Photoshop person than the fucking national intelligence agencies do?
Because everyone hates the national intelligence agencies?
Fair enough.
But apparently the stock photo of multicultural office staff wasn't multicultural or diverse enough for the Biden people, so they inserted 2 other stock images into the picture. One of those stock images is also available on Shutterstock. You could buy that for your Christmas card, too. It's called, quite literally, Blind Young Man with Guide Dog on White Background, which is what it is. The other is entitled, again, quite literally, Beautiful Businesswoman with Tablet Computer in Wheelchair on White Background.
I want to, you know what I want to do for a living? I want to be the guy at Shutterstock that names stuff. That sounds like the easiest gig in the world.
It sounds like they named it in Chinese and then translated it. You know? Beautiful businesswoman in a wheelchair.
Huh. So those aren't really intel agents. They're stock photographs from the internet. Now, on one level, this is good news. You can make fun of it, but honestly, the intel community hasn't really outed the identity of its most attractive wheelchair-bound spy, or its blind 007. So they're safe. They're not going to get nabbed in that park in East Berlin. Their identities have still been masked. But there are a lot of other episodes from this lesson, lessons that we honestly are ill-equipped to diagnose ourselves because we haven't thought deeply enough about it, and that's why we are proud to.
Okay, that's pretty much the main thing I wanted. That man, I mean, just the thought of an undercover like KGB agent throwing a net on a blind person's dog. Got him!
You laugh, man, but that's why I think we shouldn't be sending that blind man out in the field in the first place.
Wait a second. Are you telling me it's a bad idea to have blind spies?
Probably. I mean, unless you're going undercover as a blind guy.
Oh, man. Semper Reloaded bought a beer. Mersh, if you want a good pillow, get a Beauty Rest AquaCool pillow. I'm certain it uses witchcraft because one side is always ice cold. It's a $50 pillow, but that shouldn't be a problem for a BMW owning guy.
I think I have a Beauty Rest mattress, so why not fucking upgrade a little bit? Yeah, I just like a pillow that stays fucking frosty.
Gorillasaurus, I'm out of town for a week and you two get in trouble for poking fun at the dead pedophile. Hey, man, you have to keep up with the show. Corn Pops Rainbow, guys, Royce's wife wants to fuck me. Deadbeat Chess 666, he bought 3 beers. I voted Cutie Pie Royce, should have voted JJ. He has smokes. A lot of smokes. So.
Hell yeah, man.
Now
I got all kind of smokes.
Now that we've broken this down, why don't we check in on Joe Biden and see how he's doing? What do you say?
An act by the Russians. Would you say that this means
We're not sure it's the Russians.
Okay.
I got a brief as I was on the plane. That's why I was late getting off the plane. I got a brief and. All right.
Would you like your receipt? Who it might be, sir?
I'll be in better shape to talk to you about it.
Okay, that's
he just
worst.
pulled something out of his pocket. Did you see? Look, he got his cheat sheet. Look.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they sent me. Okay.
Classified. Do not read. Okay, here's what it says.
Assassination of Haitian president is going on as planned. I'm sorry, that's the wrong. I gotta.
My bad. Oh, my bad.
This is the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Did you see the cleaned up version of this?
Oh yeah, the one that they aired.
The Reuters version.
Yeah, where it's just like him just goofing around with the grocery people.
The idea, first of all, we're not sure who it is for certain, number one. And what I did, I directed the.
I hate Obama. Let me be clear. I think Obama started a lot of the fucking modern day woke shit that we're dealing with today and the race division. That was Obama. However, if this put Obama in this situation, okay, he would immediately go, "It's not the Russians. We know it's not." And as a matter of fact, and he would go down a list, and then he would still, at the same time, putting his card in and joking around.
Any number of people right now. Yeah. We're unsure, but we're looking into it, and that's why we have. It's not just myself, but I have the greatest people in the world working on this as we speak. Like, all right, great. Even Bush.
Yeah, of
even
course.
Bush could have blindly pushed through it with completely blind confidence, so you would at least feel confident. Like, what do you think? Is it the Russians? Well, look, I don't know if it's the Russians or not, but we're going to find who did it, and we're going to torture them without any due process. Like, thank you. That's what I want to hear, that we're going to torture people globally with no due process. Thank you, Mr. President.
Resources of the government to.
And then at the end you go, I want to have a beer with that guy.
Assist in a response.
And then, of course, Trump would be the one that just goes, I think it's the Russians, personally. I think you're actually spot on. It's probably them. That's supposed to tell them.
Can I get a Diet Coke? Get me a cold one from the back.
I'd like a box, please.
Thanks.
Take this back to me. Baron likes to.
Oh,
Baron's got a thing with cold French fries. I don't get it. It's weird, but
Determine. What else you need?
Oh, nothing. You're all set.
Okay.
by the way, speaking of Baron, you see that picture of that fucking lumbering monster?
God, he's like fucking 8 feet tall.
He's 6'7".
Dude, he's huge.
And he's
holy
and
shit.
he's 16.
You start at that point. You start wondering if it's a pituitary thing. You know.
They were basically saying they're comparing him. He's like that one of those whoever that Eastern European basketball like Nico guy or whatever. They're basically comparing him to him now, and he's 16.
And the fact is that the director of the intelligence community gave me a deep dive on what's happened, and I'll know better tomorrow. And if it is either with the knowledge of and or a consequence of Russia, then I told Putin we will respond. And
You didn't tell him already, sir?
No, I haven't called because we're not certain. The initial thinking was it was not the Russian government, but we're not sure yet.
Wow. I mean, that's the fucking president of the United States of America, guys. That is.
He's doing great, I think. Yeah, that's obviously the worst I've ever seen him. And it's, that they're stuck in a weird place, like I said, right now, because they're like, we cannot roll out Kamala. We can't. We do that, we're not getting a second term.
They won't roll her out till after 2022.
They have to. I don't even think they'll do that.
You think they're still? Oh, you might be right.
If they can keep this pumped full of some drugs or whatever and keep him going, they're going to try to run him again because she is not likable.
That magical limitless drug that they gave him is not going to work in 4 years again when he's doing debates.
They'll do some.
They'll
trickery.
wipe the floor with him.
They'll do some trickery. I mean, again, do we even think they won the last one?
No, he didn't.
You know what I mean?
But my point is that night compared to this, there was that like, okay, he's going to sleep for 20 hours. We're going to give him his pills.
But what's the like? There's things they can keep doing to him to keep him just barely going, and then use camera angles and use pre-recorded shit and use Jen Psaki, or they'll probably have to get a better one. They're going to use every trick in the book to make us still think it's Joe and 3. I think because they are now coming to terms with like, okay, we've been soft rolling Kamala out. Everyone hates this bitch. The people that work for her hate this bitch. Nobody likes this bitch. We got to come up with something, boys. I really genuinely think they're at that point now. They're like, we got to... Joe is pretty much it.
Word on the street is they're going to hire Penn and Teller to try to do some stage magic while he's up there. That way they can distract people from it.
Then at that point, it would be great if they rolled out Kamala. Hear me out on this. I know people are going to get mad at me, and I'm mad at myself for even saying it.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
We need to keep DeSantis for another governor term, just to fortify the state.
Agree. I'm with that.
And so that we can start grooming his predecessor. Calm down, Rob. Talking politically groom.
Jesus, Gavigan, your mind.
Yeah. So that DeSantis can train and groom a predecessor to take over Florida. So we need somebody for the next. If it's Joe steps down and it's Kamala Harris versus, I'm back. Because honestly, we're not gonna. We're either gonna. What are you gonna put? Jeb Bush like this? We don't have anybody. So it's like, why not rematch? Now they have to run Kamala as Kamala, and you bring, dude. He'd be elected president again. He would be elected president again. There's just there'd be no way. You can sell a Biden to people because you can go, look at that, he won. He won because he was so calm after Trump, and he's just another generic old white guy, and he looks like a president. Perfect. You're not gonna have shrieking Kamala in there. She's not gonna out shriek fucking Trump, dude. And then that'll buy some time for an election while we fix up Florida and get our shit ready to secede from the union. And then we'll give you guys Ronnie D after that.
Then he's all yours.
He's all yours. Unless we, I don't know, abolish term limits. Whatever.
Well, if we
I'm spitballing here.
If we secede, we do it. Then we're going to need a president of Florida.
We will.
Sorry,
Prime
guys.
Minister. I always like Prime Minister.
I like Prime Minister.
Sounds
too.
cool.
Yeah.
What about? Hear me out on this. Premier. I like Premier.
Ron DeSantis.
More of a
the
Russian
great
thing?
country of Florida.
Premier Ron DeSantis. Yeah, I like Premier.
I like that. So CPAC happened, and
oh God, this. Were you cringing all weekend? Like
of course,
I was?
it was the cringiest thing I've ever
My
seen in my life.
asshole was clenched tight all weekend. Like, oh, every time Don or Lauren Boebert or one of these idiots open their mouths.
So, want to see Don Jr. bombing when talking about Texas?
Is he sober this time?
No.
Texas has always led the charge. Well, till about like a couple of months ago, and then Austin sort of took over. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, Texas was leading the charge. You're still top 25.
They're in Texas.
We got to work on that stuff because those people have lost their minds.
Do you understand? You can't bash Texas in Texas.
What are you doing? You want to notice something else that I picked up, and he was never doing this before? He's been copying a lot of his father's hand motions. He wasn't doing this before. Why don't you just watch his hands?
Texas has always led the charge.
Oh God, I see it.
It's gonna fuck you up. He wasn't doing that before because I've seen plenty of him before.
Because frankly, it's.
Oh, it gets worse as he goes on. Watch.
Texas
Watch
has
his
always
hands.
led the charge.
Watch.
Well, till about like a couple of months ago, and then Austin sort of took over. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, Texas.
I don't know, guys. He even did his voice. I don't know, guys.
I don't know. Do you think he's just subconsciously trying to be his dad?
I think he is. I don't know, guys. What are you doing, Don?
I read an article this weekend too, which I know, like every time they write about Trump, consider the sources. But this was a legit article, I believed, that Trump fucking despises Kimberly Guilfoyle.
I believe that.
Despises her, and that apparently there's some buzz in the Trump camp that he's gotten very fed up with all of the parasites that are living off of him, and like his name and stuff like that. I guess they got in a fight because there was some dude running in Missouri for Senate again, and he's a Republican, and he has like some Me Too stuff floating around, and Trump was like, it's like really, it's bad enough that Trump's like, we're not backing this guy because
right.
he's probably not going to win. And Kimberly Guilfoyle took a job like on the guy's advisory board or whatever, since Trump wants nothing to do with it. And he's like, yeah, they hired her because they still want to squeeze a little bit of that Trump. Like she's trying to like live off the Trump thing. And I was reading this article. I'm like, usually. The reason I know it's kind of true is because they didn't spend the whole time going, Trump is a problematic Nazi racist, orange bad. Like, it really read like a real, like Trump hates this bitch. And also, does anyone not hate Kimberly Guilfoyle besides Don Jr.?
She's very hateable, to be fair.
It's, I think, something that leftists and right-wingers can actually agree on. It's like the black and the white arms giving the fucking handshake.
By the way, both of those arms, Cuban.
See, you guys didn't know that. It's true.
Now let's watch him copy his father.
And then Austin sort of took over. Like, I don't know, guys. Like,
what are you doing?
You're not your dad. Like, your dad could have pulled that off.
Texas
I
was
don't know
leading
with
the charge.
Austin going on. I don't know what you guys are doing out here. Maybe I got to come here and fix it.